Welcome back to another Klim product walkthrough. I'm Dustin Pancari, and today we're going to do a deep dive into mountain snowmobile gloves. You can see there's 20 different gloves on this table, and that's a lot of gloves. You're probably sitting there thinking, man, this is a lot to try to understand. So that's why we're going to go through every one of these, talk about the features and differences between every one of them so that it makes it easier for you to decide which glove is best for you and the conditions that you're riding in. Might be 2 or 3 different gloves, but I know there are gloves here that are definitely going to work for what you're looking for if you can understand the differences between them. Now, we offer a whole lot more gloves than this. There's probably another double this many gloves. We've already done another trail glove comparison. So if you're not seeing a glove you're looking for here, go watch that trail glove comparison. Those are a lot more insulated gloves, and you may find something there that's going to work for you, or it might just help you better understand some of the differences between all these gloves. But we're gonna kind of focus on the gloves that I think you may want to see or may use when you're mountain riding. Let's kind of talk high level about what some of the similarities between all these gloves are. So for example, any glove that's a gauntlet glove, you're gonna notice has a couple of standard features. It's gonna have this tension cord here to tension the glove around your wrist. I'll just put it on so you can kind of see how that works. Tension cord there with an eject pull tab there that makes it easier for the user to get the glove off. You'll notice they'll typically have a wrist restraint here like this that you can tighten down to keep the air or moisture or whatever from trying to get on the inside. You can loosen that up to take the glove off. You notice that most of these gloves are also going to have a squeegee right here on the index finger you can use to clean your goggles from freezing rain or ice or even moisture if you're in a rainy condition. So those are some kind of standardized features that we have across all or most of our gloves here. So you'll notice that as you walk through these, you'll see that specifically all the Gore-Tex gloves have those features there. So let's start with some thin gloves, and we'll work our way up into waterproof and in some thicker gloves and even some heated gloves. I've got a couple of women's gloves in here as well. Those are typically based off a version of a men glove that we had previously, but we've tweaked it a little bit to offer the female rider a little bit more specific feature set for her, for what she's requested from us. So starting down here, these are actually glove liners. We offer 3 different glove liners, 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. This is the 1.0 here. This is a Polar Tech fleece. You'll see it says liner 2.0 right there. It makes it easier to kind of understand what it is. There's some silicone print on the inside to help it have really good grip. I find myself using these a lot off the snowmobile. I'll use them for loading, unloading, if I got to go out and shovel the driveway real quick or something like that. But the unique feature to these liners is they can be slid into another glove to offer extra insulation. So specifically the Togey, which we'll talk about in a minute, it's actually made for a liner. It comes with a liner that's removable, but you can add this to almost any glove. What you need to be aware of is you need to make sure it's going to fit properly, because some gloves may be a little tighter, they may be a little looser. So before you just assume that it's going to work, make sure you put the glove liner on and use it in the glove that you want to try to use it in when before you purchase it, just to make sure that's going to be a good combination. It's not restrictive, you've got good feel, and that they fit together well. Now, as you get thicker into the liner, it's harder for them to fit into a glove. So this is a 2.0, very similar to our base layers that you see. It's got a little bit of thickness to it, but you can still get it into some liners. You go to the 3.0 like we've got right here, it gets a little thicker. This is actually a windstopper material, so it's similar to our inversion glove, and you may find it doesn't fit into some of these other gloves as easy. I use this one alone by itself all the time, especially for loading and unloading, and where it's got the windstopper liner, I can even ride in it a little bit. It's got good grip with that silicone on the palm. So these are pretty versatile whether you're using them for a liner or a standalone glove. Next, let's go to the impact glove. This is a kind of a race ready / mechanic glove. You'll notice that the thickness represents something that you've seen maybe in the past by a mechanic glove. It's got a little bit of protection around a couple of the knuckles, but this is what a lot of our racers wear, whether they're hill climb racing, snowcross racing, anything where you have the ability to keep the hands somewhat warm and you want a really thin, very, very good gripping glove to the handlebar. This is going to give you the best feel on the bar of about any glove we have in this lineup here. So that's why our professional athletes wear it. I also like it as a mechanic's glove. If I got to work outside on a snowmobile or something, gonna keep the hands clean. It's got really good grip on the fingers if you're picking up parts and things like that. So I keep 2 or 3 sets of these around all the time. I hill climb raced in them. Good, thin, grippy glove there. The next glove I want to go to is the Inversion Windstopper glove. This is a non-Gore, it's not a waterproof glove, it's a water resistant glove, meaning the material does have some waterproof properties to it, but it's not seam sealed, so we technically can't call it a waterproof glove. But I'll ride a lot on these gloves. Because they're windproof, they have a little bit of insulation property to them, and a lot of people will prefer to mountain ride in these gloves as long as they can keep their hands from getting too wet. So if you got to dig a few people out, eventually they're going to start to become wet, and then of course they're going to start to get cold. They've got a little bit of silicone print on the hand, the palm, and the fingers here. That gives them really good grip on the handlebar, pretty close to almost as good as the impact glove that we just talked about there. So these are one of our most popular gloves. We sell almost more of these than probably any other glove, just because they're so versatile. Again, I'll keep a set of these on the door of my pickup. I have them with me all the time. If I got to get out and hook a trailer up, I'll throw a set of these on. They're super lightweight but warm, versatile glove. Next, we'll go to what we call the Inversion Insulated. Same glove, but we've added 60 grams of insulation. I'll keep a set of these on my sled most of the time. If it's a cold day and I don't want to go to a full Gore-Tex glove, I'll wear an Inversion insulated glove. Every feature that we just talked about in the Inversion glove with the Windstopper, but we added 60 grams of insulation to this glove. I even know some Midwestern trail guys that wear this half the season. Let's move to the Inversion Pro. The Inversion Pro is a Windstopper glove that we've added leather to. Little bit, some people really prefer that leather feel, and it's soft, very nice and soft on the palm. A little bit of knuckle protection on the back, Velcro strap here on the back to secure it to your wrist. This glove also doubles over into our motorcycle segment as well. A lot of motorcycle guys wear this, as well as a lot of snow guys wear this. I've got a few racers that like to race in this because they like the thin leather palm. So it's going to be a similar temperature rating as the Inversion with the Windstopper in it. No insulation in that glove. A little bit different feel in the Inversion just because you got the leather on the palm versus the Windstopper material there. Women's glove. Let's talk about the Ember glove. The Ember glove is essentially the same as the Inversion glove that we just talked about. Same construction, same materials, silicone on the palm. So everything else is identical, just in the women's sizing, goes down a little bit smaller, especially there might be a few youth. This will go small enough that they can wear that as well. Okay, we'll move into some Gore-Tex gloves now. We'll start with the Inversion GTX. The Inversion GTX is a pretty similar construction to the Inversion glove that we just talked about. Silicone on the fingers, but this is a synthetic palm. So it's a Gore-Tex waterproof glove, synthetic palm, zero insulation, so it's a pretty thin glove. It is one of the two thinnest gloves we have as far as if you want really good grip on the handlebars. This is gonna be one of the thinnest waterproof gloves you can purchase in all the market. Few motorcycle guys will even wear this one as well, but it's a lightweight Gore-Tex glove, so that's a real popular glove as well. Another glove that's similar to that is the spool glove, and really the biggest difference between those two is we go to a leather palm. I prefer the leather palm personally. Some people prefer the synthetic palm, just depends on what your personal preference is, but the leather palm's a little softer. Again, really thin, probably the best contact and grip on the handlebar you're gonna have in a waterproof Gore-Tex glove. One really cool thing about these two gloves here is they are a fully bonded glove. So the inner liner that is the waterproof Gore-Tex material is completely bonded to the face fabric. So it's not gonna be loose and kind of resist or hurt some of that grip. It's always completely bonded. You just feel the handlebars really well. Next glove is the Togey. Togey's been in our lineup for a long time. It's been a staple piece for us. This is a shell and a liner, meaning inside this glove is a removable liner, kind of like what we talked about earlier, and it's Velcroed. I'll actually peel this back and you can see that that liner is Velcroed to the shell and it's fully removable. Now it does look a little bit different than our 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0 liner. This is a micro fleece liner, goes up the cuff a little bit further, but it's really easy to put back inside the shell. Just put the glove on and then make sure you push that Velcro back tight there and then grip your fingers so you can hold that liner inside. You can just pull it out. It's a versatile glove because in the morning you can start out with a liner in there, whether it's the liner that it comes with or one of the other liners that we sell. But then in the afternoon, or if you start to get warm, you can pull that liner out and now you've just got a bare shell similar to what we would have in the spool where it is a leather palm there. So pretty versatile glove. Gauntlet version, we already talked about the features of the gauntlet. So if you want something that goes up over your coat cuff, then you can grab that gauntlet version and seal that off real nice. Next glove, Power Cross glove. This glove has been in our lineup almost the entire history of our company. It is a staple glove for us. I think it might have been the first glove we built. This one also has Gore grip, which we kind of talked about a little bit, where the shell is bonded to the inner liner or the Gore-Tex material itself. This glove now has 100 grams of insulation on the back of the hand. So we're getting into a glove that's going to be a little bit warmer, offering some insulation. No insulation on the palm, so we're maintaining that really good grip, but we're protecting the back of the hand. When you're in that riding position, you got the wind touching the back of the hand. You'll notice there's a little hit of insulation or reflective here. So at night, running down the trail, you're in this position here. That reflective is going to be visible on an oncoming snowmobile. Gives you a little bit of extra hit of safety. They're a short glove, and you can get that cuff super tight, so it'll go underneath the cuff of your coat and kind of give you a good couple inch overlap there. Got a pull, entry assist pull. So this, again, it may be our most popular glove in the lineup, been around a long time, and it's kind of the tried and true glove. Female version of that, called the bombshell glove. Difference, we've added a little more insulation to the back of the hand compared to the Power Cross. The ladies requested a little bit more insulation there, so we're 160 grams versus 100 grams. And of course, it's female sizing there, but based off the shell and the chassis of the Power Cross, the concept just going to be fit the ladies a little bit better. Guide glove. This is one of my personal favorite gloves. I ran the Iron Dog in this glove, put 2,000 miles on it. It's similar to the Power Cross glove. It's a fully bonded glove, meaning that inner Gore-Tex liner is completely bonded and glued to the face fabric. So there's zero slip, really good grip on the handlebar that we talked about earlier. But we've gone to 150 grams of insulation on the back of the hand instead of the 100 grams that we had on the Power Cross. This is also a full leather glove. So full leather on the palm plus full leather on the back of the fingers. It's got a little softer feel to it. I wear this glove probably 30 or 40% of the time. It's warm enough and protects the back of the hand enough when I leave the trailer in the morning and it's cold. It is the most comfortable insulated glove in my opinion for the way I ride. Let's go next to the Climate Short. We actually make this in a long too. I don't have it up here. We do talk about it in our trail glove comparison, but I keep a set of these gloves on the sled most of the time because they're easy in and out. It's just an elastic cuff here, simple glove, leather on the palm, synthetic on the back. This is the best bang for your buck as far as a lightweight insulated glove. 200 grams of insulation on the back, 100 grams of insulation on the palm. So if you happen to run cold and you're a mountain rider and you need a little bit of insulation on the palm, you still have pretty good bar grip with this glove. If you like to wear a thin glove all the time and you need a backup set with just a little bit of insulation, this is a good one to keep in the tunnel bag or in the handlebar bag as you need them, as you get cold. Similar glove for the women, the Ember, a little bit more insulation on the back of the hand compared to the Climate. We've got 260 on the back. You see, this is a gauntlet version, so you can imagine what the men's gauntlet version of that would look like, but women's sizing and colorways as well. Now we'll get into some kind of more insulated gloves. That are gloves you're probably not gonna wear very often, but when you need them, you really need them. So we have a Tundra glove. We call it the split finger or the claw glove. But you've got 3 fingers on the left side here, your index finger separated, and your thumb. The nice thing about this is you can still operate the brake. If you're a single brake type of rider, you've still got that feature with this glove. But man, I keep a set of these in the back of my sled as my emergency gloves. We may have to spend the night, or we got a breakdown, or we got to go on a search and rescue mission, whatever it might be that you think you may have to be out for a long period of time where you may not be actively riding, you might be standing around and you need to stay warm. This is a good emergency, very warm glove for that condition. We have a similar glove for the women, the Allure Mitten. I'll go back here, 400 grams of insulation on the back of the hand here on the Tundra and 150 on the palm, okay? By comparison, the Allure Mitten, the women's mitten, is 400 grams insulation on the back of the hand and 100 on the palm. So a little bit lighter weight, but this is the glove that ladies are gonna wanna keep as their emergency glove on the back of their sled, just in case. All right, let's talk about heated gloves for a second. We make, I think, 4 or 5 different heated gloves, but we're gonna talk about the 3 that are gonna be most applicable to the mountain. First off is the Inversion heated glove. Now, we talked about the Inversion GTX before. That's what this glove is based off of. It is a waterproof Gore-Tex glove but we've added heating elements to it and a control button here. The control button has 3 modes, low, medium, and high. You push to hold to turn it off, push to hold to turn it on. The battery, I'm seeing up to 8 hours on low, 4-ish hours on medium, and then around 2 hours on high. It's programmed so you can't really leave it on high. If you put it on high, it'll stay on high for about 10 minutes, and then it'll default to medium, and that is to save the battery. Now, if you really need to stay on high, yeah, you may have to go back and keep turning it on to high, but I like that feature because there's been a couple of times when I just need to warm my hands up real quick. So I'll put it on the high feature, and then 10 minutes later it goes to medium and saves my battery. Once I get warmed back up, I don't need it on the high anyway. So I really like the feature of that, the way that control button works. The battery sits inside the glove. There's a little Velcro pocket and there's a cord in there you can plug the battery in. This is what the battery looks like. It's about a, I don't know, kind of like a 1.5 millimeter jack there, but it fits right down inside that Velcro pocket, and the Velcro will close back up when you get it installed. For the most part, I don't feel the battery when I'm riding. Occasionally I will, I'll notice it, but I've never felt like it was intrusive enough that it bothered me or created a problem. So it's in a location to where it's really unintrusive and not bothersome. Now that'll also come with a charger that's specific to the battery. It's got 2 pigtails, one for each battery, for each glove. So that's our lightest weight heated glove, the Inversion heated glove. Now we're gonna go to what's called the Power Cross heated glove. Similar story, it's based off the Power Cross chassis. Same specs as far as insulation as the Power Cross glove, but now we've added the heating element, the heating control center, and the battery to it. So it'll function just like the Inversion heated does. Again, I like the ability when I'm leaving the trailer in the morning, it's super cold, to throw the heat on, go ride for a bit. We get up on the mountain, we warm up, or it warms up. We can turn that heat off, not have to have a different glove. What I've learned is I keep a spare set of batteries with me all the time. I'll keep a spare set charged, I'll keep them in my pocket. That way, if I blow through them in a day, or maybe we end up staying later than we want or whatever, I've got a second set of batteries to go through just in case I need that extra heat. All right, resistor glove. The resistor glove is based off the Climate, which we talked about here. It's the gauntlet version of the Climate. Same story, we've installed heating elements into the glove. We've got a control center here. Battery goes up in the cuff right here. As I said before with the Climate, we've got 200 grams of insulation on the back of the hand, 100 grams of insulation on the palm, plus then you add the heat to that. Honestly, I've never really been in a condition where I needed much more than this, maybe once or twice ever. We do make a glove, a Tundra heated glove as well, if for some reason you think you might need a warmer heated glove than that, but that's probably gonna be a really far north type application, Alaska type application. That kind of completes what I would consider our mountain lineup here. Again, there are other gloves. Go check out that other video just so you know how those compare to what we have here. But if we, for some reason, didn't answer the questions that you might have on these gloves, call our customer service line, send us an email. We want to try to answer as many questions for you as we possibly can to make you have the best experience with the glove possible. Follow us on all the social media channels, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. That'll also help answer a lot of questions for you. Hope to see you on the snow.